Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of Escape from Vault Disney, the podcast where we review movies, TV shows, and short films available on the Disney Plus streaming service, chosen mostly completely at random. And this week, the randomizer has chosen Freaky Friday from 2003. I feel like a lot of 80s comedies in particular ripped this off. Wasn't there like a movie called Vice Versa with Judge Reinhold or something? Where
possibly
the dad and the son switch bodies. And more recently, there was, what was the name of that movie with Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds where they did this? The Change Up or something? I don't know.
I mean, arguably it's 17 again.
Right.
Also, I feel like a lot of 90s sitcoms had like a Freaky Friday episode.
Did they?
At least a couple of them. The ones that were magical realism.
I mean, it's no secret that body swap comedies are not exactly the most respected subgenre out there. Most people seem to view them as inherently terrible and lame, and Freaky Friday seems to be the only one that gets any respect at all.
Body swapping as a premise kind of functions the same as popular fanfic alternate universes, where it's like, here is a situation, we can throw X character and Y character in, and they will have a pretty predictable arc, but the fun will be seeing how the characters interact. Which is why it's so easy for cheap comedies, because they just insert character actor / comedian here.
And just have them impersonate each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a great exercise for the actors to just play off each other and build a character and then have the other person do that, which I guess is why it's easy for sitcoms to do it, because with sitcoms, every character has to be so broadly defined that every audience member can easily catch up with the show and know, oh, this character does this character does this.
And those actors have probably worked with each other a while, so they're like, okay, how do I impersonate?
Yeah.
So-and-so. Like this.
Patrick Willems recently did a video about time loop movies, or movies that basically rip off Groundhog Day, and he pointed out that Groundhog Day was one of those movies that's become so iconic that its title has become a shorthand for its own premise. When people think of time loop movies, they think, oh, so it's like Groundhog Day. And the same is true of Freaky Friday. When people think body swap movies, they think Freaky Friday, to the point where now there's a Blumhouse film coming out from the director of Happy Death Day called Freaky, which does kind of a horror slasher inversion of the whole Freaky Friday premise. Like, the director is literally doing to Freaky Friday what he previously did to Groundhog Day with Happy Death Day. A few years ago, I actually had another idea of how you could do a body swap comedy nowadays, and I'm gonna have to word this carefully, but hear me out. What if you made a body swap movie that was also a trans rights narrative? Picture this, a movie where a transgender man and a transgender woman try to initiate a body swap just because they're tired of being marginalized by society. Maybe we establish that in this universe, there have been, like, reports of Freaky Friday body swaps that have actually happened, so it might be possible, but it's the equivalent of, like, UFO sightings where there's no solid proof.
It could work, with the right crew, with the right script.
It would absolutely need a trans writer and a trans director.
Definitely.
To really pull it off. I would not be able to know enough about the trans experience.
You bequeath that pitch to the queer comedy community.
I bequeath that pitch to anyone in the trans community who wishes to take it and run with it, because there aren't enough body swap movies that are actually about something, you know? They've always just gone for the cheap comedy. Oh, they've got a presentation, and the kid in the adult's body doesn't know how to do the presentation for the big boss, and what the shenanigans. I would love to see, like, a Denis Villeneuve take on a body swap movie or something.
That's great. I was thinking David Cronenberg.
Oh, yeah. Cronenberg.
Wasn't that just called The Fly?
That's a body merge movie.
A body slop movie, if you will.
Well, they cut the scene where Jeff Goldblum had to give a big presentation at the Fly's office, and
Yeah.
shenanigans ensued. Did I say Denis Villeneuve right, or is it
Yes.
Dennis? Or
I think you got it right. I look forward to seeing his Dune whenever movie theaters are open again.
yeah, that'll be nice. I look forward to movie theaters being open again.
Woo!
There's an anime called Your Name that is a body swap anime that is really touching. Ryan Hipp showed it to Charlie and I
Yes.
about a year ago. It's a teenage boy and a teenage girl body swapping, and there's a point where each of them are like teenagers in their preferred gender's bodies, so you can imagine the implications. But it also has to deal with death and rebirth, and there's a big spiritual element, and there's time travel, and it's fascinating.
I just remembered a recent body swap comedy drama made in 2017 called High Fantasy, made in South Africa. The premise is 4 kids go out on a road trip into the desert, and get high, I guess. And they swap bodies, and it becomes this series of arguments about what it means that the one white kid and the 3 other black kids are in each other's bodies. And they have arguments about race and what it means, and I guess I'm bringing this up because there is a way to do it with direct political commentary.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
it feels like just the premise is rife with potential political commentary, and way too many big mainstream comedies just completely avoid that kind of thing.
Yeah, and this is a Disney movie from 2003,
Of
so
course,
I'm
of
worried
course.
about how little they're going to explore certain things.